Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Wednesday to you and your family. We're looking at Bitcoin here, just helping understand best practice, big picture. We're going to actually take a look at dollar index, CME Futures with a nice little gap fill there, what that means, and obviously some high block capital data here, some back-end stuff that's kind of giving us a little bit of a foreshadow on a potential shift in momentum. Okay, so we're going to talk about that and much more. And if you're new to the channel, love to teach people trade. Hope you can learn something here today. You want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a site. Keep in mind we took some very healthy profits yesterday from our long position with Gala. Yes, we caught that. 4 days, 94%. Well done. Congratulations to everyone on a job well done there. And of course, obviously, some awesome trade results here too from some of our community members. Keep up the good work, guys. I'm really, really proud of you. Well done, again, as per usual. All right, so what we're going to look at here is a couple of things, and just to touch on the obvious, we are breaking through this descending trend for the dollar index. Okay, so keep in mind, as the dollar index increases, traditionally, we're going to see Bitcoin decrease in value. So take a look at this chart here, and then of course this here as well. You can see Bitcoin moving up while dollar index goes down, and the inverse as well. Okay, so we can summarize here that if the dollar index continues higher, Bitcoin will continue lower. Okay. So hypothetically, that's a potential reality for us. And with us breaking through that descending trend, it does imply that Bitcoin could be on the downtrend right now until dollar index turns itself around. Okay, so again, we survived, or dollar index survived this support range here. Let's go ahead and change the color there. It is now essentially increasing in value, and in turn, Bitcoin is dropping in value. Touching on this here too as well, we can see some CME Futures here, whereas the price action actually is looking good in one way, but not in another. So let me explain here. First of all, we got this half fill up here. That's why this is blue. Normally we'd go green for a full fill, but we have an unopened, or basically an unclosed CME gap, if you will, from 29,100 to 29,700. Okay, so just keep in mind that still needs to be filled. This one is half filled, and this one, of course, looks like it got fully filled here. What do you know? The price filled it out right there to that perfect little candle wick there. So now we can call this green and effectively consider that to be a filled position. So that you could summarize the fact that that's a very positive sign. Now that it's gotten filled, it could continue higher to essentially fill the rest, right? However, we got to recognize there's a lot of other things on the charts here, and we don't just take that one thing into consideration, right? So let's go ahead and move on to look at those things here. First of all, let's go ahead and take a quick peek over at high block capital and kind of see what's going on. We can see that we still have more bids than asks right now, which is typically a good sign. More people are trying to buy. They still feel like it's a good value. That tells us that with the fear and greed index being where it's at, the price is kind of averaging itself out, finding its average true range around 27,000. We can also summarize here that the whales are fully in play right now, and they typically are when the price action is down for Bitcoin. So that does imply that we have more price action, more larger position sizes being traded consistently. We can also see here as well for longs. Over the last 4 days, we've had a pretty significant amount of longs opening their position. Now they're closing their positions here, preparing likely for a potential further downside. And the inverse as well here, where shorts, while they weren't hedged too hard, they are now more aggressive, if you will, here, where we see more shorts than longs. Okay. Now, when we take a look at open interest, when we take a look at the longs here, we can see that we got some late longs here, right, in the range of about 26,700. Okay, so those are some late longs. They are temporarily in the green right now, but any other previous longs got wrecked. Taking a look here, of course, at the shorts. Some shorts are underwater, some shorts are good. So early shorts or mid shorts, whatever the shorts that opened about 6 hours ago, they're kind of in the red. But of course, we got recent shorts in the green. So, or the other way around. Either way, the bottom line is late shorts are getting wrecked right now, or potentially getting wrecked. Once again, it's a $100 difference. It's like 0.25% or something. It's nothing crazy. But it is something to note on the back end. That's what's happening on the backside. Now, when we take a look at the regular charts here, we can see a few things that are important to recognize. So let's start with the daily first and work our way down, so you can kind of see, big picture. It's important to recognize what's going on in the grand scheme of things. When we take a look here, money flow index is leaving. Okay, as money flow index continues to decrease, we can assume the RSI will follow and the price with it. Okay, so keep in mind we're starting to see the RSI taper off. Price is going sideways in the last 5 or 6 trading days, but there's a good chance we continue on this path here, and the MFI continues to go lower, and we will definitely see the price action drop down to that 25,000, 26,000 range. But right now, we can expect the price action to keep doing what it's doing because it's kind of working within a range. We'll talk about that here in a minute based on Fibonacci retracement levels. But what I want to talk about here just briefly is that The MACD is starting to slow its momentum to the downside. This could be viewed as a bullish sign, but not even close. We're not there yet. Do not misinterpret the MACD just because it's losing momentum that it's going to instantly converge. Okay? It's not the case. You want to wait for it to fully converge and essentially cross that plane with a candlestick closure above that level first. And we're a long ways away from that, okay? So we got like 8 hours left in today's trading day, and there's still a few more days that could occur to the downside, so you never truly want to know that. Okay, so let's take a look at the moving averages. We can see we're below both moving averages. The important ones right now, the faster moving averages, the 20 and the 50. The 200 trailing behind at about 22.5. Pretty standard. There's a lot of folks out there too that use the simple move or exponential moving averages as well. And you could summarize in the fact that this is beneficial, that it's averaging itself out right here at about the 25,000 mark. So it does imply that if the price comes down further, we have that as a potential support. Okay, so keep in mind, there are definitely some positive stuff here in the big picture, but there's still this big gap between 27 and 25,000 that has very low volume. And we need to anticipate that that could very well fill itself. Okay? Taking a look here at the 4 hour, we can go ahead and see that we're still under 50 on the RSI. Money flow index is still tapering off. And even though we have a MACD divergence here, it's not super strong. So we kind of have some conflicting information telling us that, hey, the RSI is not strong, the MACD is diverging. It's more so bearish, if you will. But the thing that is conflicting is the fact that this support level here at about 26,700 is still holding. And that's a Fibonacci retracement level. We want to expect that to hold, but for lack of better terms, I think the most important thing to recognize here is at 27,000, we're below that for the moment. If we close below that for the day, then that would be considered disadvantageous, and I think that would be a resistance level for us to expect to continue to hold. You can kind of see it on the RSI, but generally speaking, that's what we're looking at. Okay, so all in all, Bitcoin looks fairly bearish on the 4 hour. And what does that mean for us in the big picture? Well, the 4 hour time frame, if it's bearish, that'll translate to a bearish daily candle, right? And today, so far, we're having a nice red candle. And I mentioned yesterday, too, we need to closure at like the 27.3, 27.4 range to be in good shape. And we didn't close anywhere close to that. We closed below that. So that basically, that doesn't confirm the fact that we are bullish whatsoever. That would have been a nice sign because we would have continued higher highs and higher lows. Right now, we are establishing lower highs and lower lows, and it's just not a positive sign. Okay? So all in all, not the greatest here for Bitcoin, but it is what it is, right? We kind of got to deal with it. Not saying to open a short, but I can tell you that a long position would not be a great choice right now, okay? So read into that however you will. On the the hourly, we want to take a look quickly at the cloud. And once again, I mentioned previously that even though it was nice we were above the cloud at the time, the price kept getting rejected by the cloud. Okay, so now we have that downward momentum where the conversion line is below the baseline. We've got the price below the cloud itself. And then we also got the lagging span free and clear the price action for now. So if you have a short position open, it's basically saying, keep this open. No reason to open a new one, right? So we want to see if this level will hold, but there's a stronger chance the price will continue lower than it will go higher at this point, just based on a lot of factors that we've looked at so far. Money flow index coming down. We're stuck under both RSIs on the 4 hour and the daily. All moving averages are pretty much telling us it's going to continue lower, and we got like a divergence on the MACD. So there's really nothing here that's telling us that it wants to go up. Now again, keep in mind, Bitcoin's notorious for giving us all these signs, then turning itself right around. Because those market movers, they know how to liquidate trades. So be careful if you're using high leverage. Take profits while you can. It's always important, but keep in mind, that there seems more like we have a larger propensity for decreasing than increasing at this point. Okay, so I think that right now, Bitcoin's looking like it's in pretty good shape to continue lower. But once again, we got to wait for the candlestick to close, and people can mock me all they want if they disagree with this, but waiting for confirmation I think is an important thing. We don't have full confirmation that we should take a short, but it's leaning a lot more towards down than up at this point. Just be careful not to short the bottom because we never truly know where the bottom is, right? But again, we looked at the dollar index. Dollar index is on the increase. Bitcoin's on the decrease. Big surprise when we see that. It's nothing that's unique. Same thing with traditional markets as well. They're doing fairly well in the last couple of hours. Okay? So a lot of little things that kind of factor in, just important stuff to note. So I hope this was beneficial and helpful for you. Quick heads up too, if you are following us on Twitter, just wait for it to get back up on track there. We reported a lot of other illegitimate accounts recently, and out of extreme caution, Twitter went ahead and suspended everything, and we provided a lot of documentation to prove we are who we say we are. Big statements, photo ID, the whole 9 yards. So we'll be back up on track with that here momentarily. So do not concern yourself there. While we do miss being able to provide you with better information, more consistent, it'll be back here in no time. So thanks again for your patience there. And once again, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself.